It's always been pretty low. Good morning. Yeah. Welcome to Screen Junkies Universe. Today we're going to do this show as if we are doing an NPR podcast. Just kidding. Tamaryl's here.
Hello.
What's going on? Joe Star.
Hi.
Edgar, that's how I know it's Wednesday.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Ed, Tom Cruise cares about you and you, audience, and all of us, if we're honest. Tom Cruise wants to help us. He has a PSA. He wants to fix your TV for you and your life. I wish we could show you this entire thing. I think we'll have it in the description. Maybe we'll see just a little bit of Tom coming in with a PSA. He is on the set of Top Gun Maverick.
Do you think we could show just enough for him to say, I'd like to take a minute to talk to you about
Can we, JT,
interpolation?
Can we pull up the clip? What if I do this?
Just keep talking while he pulls it up.
We'll keep talking while he pulls it up.
We'll find it.
Because it's like 2 minutes long, but my favorite is just like, we're filming Maverick, but we'd like to take a moment.
Here it goes.
Hi, I'm Tom Cruise, obviously. And I'm Chris McQuarrie, obviously. And we're talking to you from the set of Top Gun Maverick. We're very proud to present Mission Impossible Fallout, and we want you to enjoy it to the fullest possible effect, just as you would in a theater.
To that end, we'd like a moment of your time to talk to you about video interpolation.
I love it so much.
And it goes on for about
insane.
It goes on for like 2 more minutes.
Yeah,
It's so
and it goes on from there.
I can't stop watching it. I really can't.
It's the best thing ever. It's the best thing he's ever done.
There's so much to unpack.
So he's there with Christopher McQuarrie, and they're talking about this. This is the head of the Blu-ray release of Mission Impossible Fallout, and they want you to watch it the right way, please. And he talked a little bit about, as he said, video interpolation. The unfortunate side effect of which is that most movies look like they're shot in high-speed video rather than on film. So they call this the soap opera effect, and it's meant to basically reduce blur for sporting events and things like that.
Yes.
But what happens for a regular film or an action film is that it looks really flat.
Yeah.
The way a soap opera was shot back in the day on video. And it just takes away sort of the depth, and it takes away the texture, and it just doesn't look good, and they don't want you to watch it that way and then say their movie doesn't look good. So they're here with a PSA for you, for them. There's so much about this that I like, but Joe Star, name your top 5 things.
You know what? First of all, I'll say this. Look, for one, he approaches this with all the seriousness of, for $1 a day, you can save this entire village. But I will say, you know what? Thank you, Tom Cruise, because here's how much of a sucker I am. Maybe it's a combination of just that's the way they are in the showroom at the TV shop, and a combination, and that and Peter Jackson's Hobbit trilogy being like, this is the future of film. But when I first started seeing this effect, like in TVs, my brain just sort of resigned itself to, well, I guess that's what everything's supposed to look like now. And even though my wife would be like, this looks terrible, I'd be like, but it's the future, and we have to accept it, because I'm an idiot. So thank you, Tom Cruise, for warning me about the dangers of video interpolation.
Yeah,
Yes.
and giving people the knowledge that they have the power. It's been there all along.
It's inside of
It's
you.
inside
That's right.
of them. It's
And
inside your TV.
It is. It is awful. This motion smoothing is
It's awful.
atrocious. First of all, Tom, for this, The Mummy, Te Absolvo. I'll throw in a couple more too.
Poke
All is
Dance.
forgiven. It's the worst.
It's the worst.
My mom bought a new TV several years ago, and I remember we were watching Lincoln, and the movie started, and it looked like it was like this big battle scene, and it looked like it was shot in on a high school football field. With fancy lighting, because it's like I said, it looks like it's shot on high-speed video. It is terrible, and the fact that it's the factory default, the fact that most people don't know the difference, and the fact that it's so hard to find it, to turn it off, is like, this is really, I'm glad.
They
Good.
show
Someone
you
should be doing this.
where to go to turn it
Yeah,
off.
in case you can't find the power within yourself, they tell you how to Google it.
They show you how to turn it off, so you have that ability now. Ed, what are you celebrating about this video?
I just like the fact that it is finally filmmakers coming together in like a Justice League to say that this Lex Luthor will not stand. He's messing with our televisions, people. You know what I mean? It's that sort of thing where nobody else can see it and you see it. Like they're like Rorschach and Watchmen. You know, they're like putting all the dots together for all of us, and their journal's going to get lost in the mail. But I do like also that they say filmmakers Christopher Nolan, Paul Thomas Anderson.
I was just getting there.
Yeah,
Good for
Ryan
you.
Anderson, all those people. call it what the thing here, liquid diarrhea.
Yeah,
which seems-
so I guess Ryan Johnson called it liquid diarrhea. Christopher Nolan, Paul Thomas Anderson, Jonathan Mostow, Reed Morano all have basically lobbied against it and called the DGA to engage in talks with TV makers to stop this madness. But it takes the power of Maverick, I think. And America, I think, and the world. Hello, international audience. I think you'll agree.
Yes.
Like, if anyone can stop it, Tom Cruise will just run at it until it stops.
This video made me realize that we were robbed of an X-Men movie when Cruise was in his 30s where he played Cyclops. Because, yes, he's the leader. You mentioned the superhero team up of filmmakers. He is obviously the leader and the center of it. He has zero sense of humor about what he's presenting. There's not a wink or a smile in his eyes. He charismatically presents this information. It's that no charisma, and that's Cyclops to a T. And now
it's true.
Yeah,
I could see Cyclops being like, team, before we go, I'd like to take a moment to talk to you about video interpolation.
Now, you guys accept the danger room as it is, but I see some improvements of the
The
Shi'ar
motion
technology.
smoothing on these holograms is unacceptable.
Now the Shi'ar make it a factory default, and that is very frustrating. We are currently working with this race of bird alien humanoids.
There's also, I want somebody to start to address the aspect ratio issue that we have on televisions, because that needs addressing too. You know what? But Tom, you're right. One thing at a time. You got to fight one battle at a time.
I'm very proud of verified film Twitter lately because, a lot of times it's just promotion for their upcoming movies. But like first they took on Filmstruck and tried to save Filmstruck, and now they're working for motion smoothing.
Yeah.
I like this trend. We need help. There's
Use
people
your
down in the
power for
trenches
good.
fighting for these things, but we need those blue checks.
Yeah.
The big blue checks,
The big
not
blue
the fake
checks.
ones, like
The little blue checks.
the real ones.
We need the real blue checks.
No, but in the end, I think it's also heartening that we're getting back to looking at things how the filmmakers wanted you to see them. You know what I mean? Everybody's watching everything on their phone or on a plane or doing some weird stuff. We're watching on your grandma's TV that sucks. It's a Zenith. You know what I mean? We're watching movies all these different ways. I think it's really cool that filmmakers are trying to band together to be like, this is how you do it. You'll enjoy it more. Please, trust me. They're like, trust me.
Well, there's nothing that you can do about people watching on their phones, which is the worst. But besides the plane, the plane, I watch a lot of movies on the plane, but only if I've seen them or if it does not matter at all, and I know it doesn't matter. But yeah, I think that obviously you want your art form to be seen as it was intended as much as humanly possible, because there's so much you can't even control there in terms of the projection. You saw with Hateful Eight.
Yeah.
The theater that I was in, it was just a terrible projectionist. It was just,
That's
it's not
frustrating.
your fault. They don't train you for that anymore.
Yeah.
well, I mean, it is kind of.
Was
They
like-
are the
was like-
projectionist.
Was like half of it on the curtain.
Half of it was, the frame was bleeding down at the bottom. It was just really awful. And Quentin would have lost his damn mind, but he's crazy, so he'd probably check every theater in LA if he could.
Can I say, I don't know if it's like policy or what, but is it just me or is it like in the last year or so they don't move the black curtains up and down?
Thank
Yeah,
you,
they
Billy.
don't.
JT, hi. Screen Junkies Universe here. We'd like to talk to you for a minute about masking.
Yeah.
You may not know what masking is, but masking is when a movie theater moves the curtains so that the size of the screen fits the aspect ratio that the film was set on. Some big chains, like AMC, don't always do masking, and it makes it feel like you're watching a movie on a television.
Yeah.
So
Mask.
I don't know what to tell you to do, but Billy's right, because that's so annoying. So theaters, please mask your films.
Nah.
Masking
It's
helps
not-
you control the focus of where the filmmaker intended you to see.
Your eye is direct when it's a good film. Now, this isn't always true, but when it's a good film, they are framing it very specifically. Your eye is supposed to go to a specific part of the frame, and it's very distracting when it does not read that way.
Sometimes called the peripheral vision effect.
Yeah.
I was just trying to think what would happen if theaters had tried to mask the last Transformers movie in real time.
Oh my
So the
God.
curtain is
Like-
constantly moving up and down. You
Oh
just
my
hear
God, that would
gears
be
turning
awesome.
throughout the whole movie, just like.
It's an extra layer of transforming.
Yes, Billy.
It kind of fits.
But I remember the coolest part of seeing Galaxy Quest in the theater was they had it masked to 185, and then when he gets on the ship, it literally opened
Oh,
up
that's cool.
so wide. And I was like, wow. And you know, I was only
Dark
like
Knight, too.
10 years old or something, so I didn't realize exactly why, but I was like, this just got cooler, and I don't know how. Movies.
So like they actually physically masked it in the
physically
theater?
masked it.
Oh,
and
that's
then
cool.
It came down. The masking came
Uh-huh.
down, and the curtains opened at the same time. So it was obviously like auto fixed to that, but it's when he gets on the actual spaceship. But they don't do shit like that.
No, because they're lazy, and because the way
Well-
that it works now with movies is that they're not on actual film reels anymore, so
Yeah.
you don't have to lock a certain movie into one theater all the time. So they're digital, so they just swap the files, but one's at like 235 to 1 and one's at 8185 to 1, and they just don't change the settings if the movies change. But that sucks because it's literally like a button.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like I've seen them move before a movie, and it seems like you
seems
just
like
have
it
to
just-
take the time to program it.
Yeah, agreed.
I
It's
paid you
these little
$20.
things.
You can push a button.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially movies are expensive.
Yeah.
Does ArcLight do it?
Yeah, ArcLight does it.
ArcLight does
Okay, because if you're gonna train some guy to come out and do 5 minutes of stand up
Yeah.
before the movie and tell you where the exits are and how to lighten, put your seatbelt on, you're gonna train somebody to do that and you don't mask.
I hope
that
you
kind of
guys are
stuff.
excited
It's-
about Logan.
It's AMC. AMC does it.
AMC is
AMC doesn't
yeah.
do it.
AMC is. I think. Well, a while back they said they were not going to do it. I've been to some that do it and some that don't do it. But I remember I saw Sicario,
Yeah.
the new
The
one,
new one.
and it was not masked, and it
Day of
was
Soldana.
it was just kind of a bummer because it's like you're watching a letterbox movie on a letterbox screen. And it's like just
a little bit.
Well, it's kind of like, you remember when people would watch the full frame? Yeah, thank you. I had such a long conversation with my family about that, and like, no, we can't watch it this way. Well, it's just like more on the screen, and I'm like, oh, it's the wrong thing on the screen. God.
remember when they used to be double-sided, the DVDs?
Yes.
I did that.
Would you scratch out
we were
the
watching.
bad side?
No, oh my god, that would be amazing. No, I should have. But I was watching The Fugitive with my mom. I remember this. We got a DVD player, and I was watching The Fugitive with my mom, and she was like, I don't want to watch it this way. The other way's better because you see more. And I said, okay. And I paused it, and then I was just like, we're going to watch this scene in Letterboxd, and we're going to watch it again right away in full screen. And you tell me which one. I stopped, turned the disc over, played it again. It's like, do you see the things that are missed, the top and the bottom? She's like, oh, you're right. I'm like, God, I need to go house to house for the rest of my life.
She's like, I see Ernie Hudson now.
Yes.
Yes.
I had the same
Ernie Hudson's
conversation.
missing in every movie.
Yeah, I did. I had the same conversation with my family, and it was kind of helpful to have it on two sides. But
Yeah.
you know what? Had I been more devious, I would have just scratched out the bad side.
Well,
Now you have no choice.
The fugitive example is really great because it's like, you see this on full screen, you just can't see the doghouse or the outhouse. You got to turn it over
Yeah.
to the widescreen.
I was 14, by the way.
Yeah.
That's no joke. I was 14 years old.
Good.
Hey,
Yeah.
They say our
You have always
personalities
been-
are
yeah.
formed early.
You have always been Dan. And
I
that's what
have always
appreciate.
been myself.
That is why we love you, Dan Merle. This has been Aspect Ratio Talk. It's so funny how it was a group rant about aspect ratio. Damn it! Masculine movies. Kevin Hart's going to host the Oscars, you guys. This is via Variety. There were reports emerging that he was under consideration, and now it's official. The 2019 Oscars will be hosted by him. He made an Instagram post on Tuesday, because that's how we news. And he said, for years, I've been asked if I would ever host the Oscars, and my answer was always the same. I said that it would be the opportunity of a lifetime for me as a comedian, and that it will happen when it's supposed to. I'm so happy to say the day has finally come for me to host the Oscars. I am blown away simply because this has been a goal on my list for a long time. To be able to join the legendary list of hosts that have graced the stage is unbelievable. Unbelievable. I know my mom is smiling from ear to ear right now. The show will happen on ABC on February the 24th. Jimmy Kimmel hosted the show for the past couple of years. Who's your favorite Oscar host, first of all, and then let's talk about to date, and then Kevin Hart and your hopes.
Oh, wow.
Hathaway.
Is that hard? Oh,
James Franco
liar.
and Hathaway.
Obviously.
Anne Hathaway and
What a
James
dynamic
Franco.
duo.
It's like weirdly still Billy Crystal for me, but is that just a nostalgia,
Maybe, yeah.
or was he as great as I think he
I mean,
was?
he was pretty good. He sort of set this standard for a while.
like the gold standard.
Yeah,
I think there was something about that he just did it all the time. That
Is it just like association, you think?
But I think that's a good. I think that was a good thing for the show that you associated the consistency of Billy Crystal with the Oscars.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Instead of just having it be so constantly rotating.
Yeah, like if Kevin Hart does it for the next 10 years and part of you becomes accustomed to, I can't wait for the Kevin Hart thing this year. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. Who was your favorite?
I don't know. I'm really anti-establishment. You know, I got a real punk sensibility. So I really liked when Chris Rock did it.
Yeah, Chris Rock is a good host.
Oh my God, yeah.
I really liked that.
Yeah, Chris Rock was great. Yeah.
Because it seemed like he was taking the piss out of it, you know, in a way that was slightly more digestible than what something like when Ricky Gervais did the Golden Globes.
Well, Ricky Gervais could never do the Oscars because he's too insane. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but Chris Rock, but just little stuff like, who's Jude Law? I don't care about Jude Law. And then like Sean Penn felt the need to come on like like Bernardo Bertolucci filmed him in a one shot, and he had to respond. Who do you think you are, Chris Rock? It's like, come on, dude. Like the self-seriousness.
Jude Law is one of our finest working actors. I've known him for 2 decades, and I think that a lot of people know who Jude Law is. I certainly know him through his. It's like it's a joke, you goon. Like God, go skulk away, go pout in the corner, Sean Penn.
The world's so sad. I'm Sean Penn. I care. I'll show you with my outrage. Oh.
Yeah.
I can't remember who tweeted it.
I don't hate Sean Penn.
I don't, but I hated him in that moment. I really hated him in that moment.
I know El Chapo. Like, what?
I met with a drug dealer last week. He knew who Jude Law was.
Oh my God.
I can't remember who tweeted it the other after the announcement, but I was like, you know what? You're right. You know who's due to host an award show, whether it's the Oscars or the Golden Globes or something? Tim Meadows.
Oh my God!
We as a society owe Tim Meadows,
He
the world's most consistent comedian.
I feel like he would bring like this level of class to the proceedings.
Yeah, like a self-deprecating class.
Yeah,
that hasn't been seen before. But I do agree with you guys though that Billy Crystal, because of the consistency, but I think we are getting to this era where I'm of the again real punk here, punk with the Oscars. Put on your cummerbund sideways.
So like pop punk.
But yeah,
I think you have an interesting interpretation of what punk is.
Or just put some
spikes.
Put some spikes in your cummerbund. It's real
Ed
punk.
loves Blink-182.
No, but all I'm saying is what if we don't need a host? What if we get the top people of that year, the top people who have been in stuff, instead of just them presenting and going, hello, I'm Jude Law, and I'm Anne Hathaway, blah, blah, blah. Instead of having them do that, let's have a nice little dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. And then, the biggest actress of the year comes out and does a dance move and sets herself on fire. And then the next, the biggest comedian of the year does a big, long monologue about all the people who died. I don't know. I'm just joking. But you know what I mean? Just something. Let's flip it up. Let's all the hot people of the year doing all this different stuff.
They did that one year in the 70s.
Fire dancing.
I forget who it was, but there was like 5 hosts, and they just sort of rotated through it. But that's when Johnny Carson did it every year. Bob Hope did it every year,
Yeah. I mean, just imagine all the hot actors and everybody. It's all like what if SNL was good? And it had all these super great actors for 2 hours.
I think that's a really fun idea. I think it's just logistically probably really complicated because not all of them, even if you're a really good actor, you're not necessarily that entertaining as a presenter. I think we've seen that before. Like it's always impressive when they are really entertaining as a presenter as well.
You know who's a good
and
host?
it's always surprising who is.
Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman.
He was a good Oscar host.
He's got all the skills.
That's why he's going to
Sing,
Broadway.
he can he's basically this generation's Billy Crystal. Like
He's
he can
Logan.
sing, he can dance.
Yeah.
He's Logan.
You know what I'd like to see?
Logan is this generation's Billy Crystal.
Yeah.
You're
You know,
right,
I'd like to see
Yeah,
get a chance
that's right.
on a big chunk of an Oscar broadcast. Catherine Zeta-Jones, because in very much the same way as Hugh Jackman, she can dance. She has all these different skills. She's limber and she's vibrant, and I really like her and I miss her.
Oh.
I think my favorite
went to a very
hosts.
warm place.
That was very sweet, and I liked it. My favorite hosts ever were Amy Poehler and Liz Lemon.
Tina Fey.
I know it's Tina Fey. I worship Tina Fey, but she's always Liz Lemon to me, sir.
Fair enough.
I think they were my favorite. They were the Golden Globe, and I think they're right for the Globes.
Yeah.
Versus the Oscars, but Oscars is weird because they don't know what to do with it. They don't know how to make it kind of fresher and appeal to young people. They don't know what to do, and they keep trying all these different things that are working
I think they put too
What
much
do you
weight
mean?
on individual people and individual bits, which is why I would like a more group thing, because they'll like have you strung out there doing this weird bit for like 2 minutes, and
Yeah.
if it's bombs in the first 2 seconds, we know as stand-up comedians, you start out a bit, that first 10 seconds doesn't work, that 20 seconds doesn't work, and you got 2 more of this giant dumb bit.
Abandon the prompter.
Yeah. They don't have any wiggle room in there, it seems like, and it's not as entertaining.
Well, Kevin. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Kevin Hart makes sense to me as a pick because it's, I think that one of the things that people were very vocally tired of last year was politics. And it's not just like I'm tired of one side, but we talk about even political movies that usually would do well are not doing well. And I think it's because there's a general weariness of just everything, of all of it. And Kevin Hart makes sense because he is very, very popular. Number one, he's not like a niche choice. He has a lot of energy, and that's not his brand. Like Jimmy Kimmel, if Jimmy Kimmel hosted, like he's a political comedian. By and large, he's a political comedian, and so of course he's going to make some political jokes. Nobody is going to go out there expecting that Kevin Hart is going to be like, there are not going to be any pieces written after the show like, where were Kevin Hart's political jokes? Like there would have been if Jimmy Kimmel hosted or John,
that piece will be written by somebody.
Well, yeah, but like that's not what Kevin Hart does. So that's not an expectation that's going to be given to him. It's like he's a showbiz guy. He's been around the industry for 20 years. He can kind of roast the people, the stars, the movies, and I don't think he'll be expected to stray into politics, which I think is something that a lot of people at home would maybe give him another chance at watching. It's like, it's not necessarily that some of them don't like one side or the other, but a lot of people, I think, were just like, I don't want to watch the show at all because I'm just tired of the politics of it all, and I don't want a 10-minute monologue at the beginning that's all politics jokes. Whereas Kevin Hart, it seems like, would be the kind of comedian you get if he's going to go out there and
he'll roast a few people
and do the room. Yeah, he'll do the room, he'll do the movies, but that's not going to be expected of him to be like, and Trump, like, okay, or whoever's our president in February.
And he'll roast himself as much as anybody
Hoot, you
else.
guys.
Not that. I just mean legitimately. I don't know. It's not a political statement. I don't know.
Well, none of us do, but we do know that the Oscars will happen no matter what state of anarchy we are in at present. And maybe if Ed has his way, it'll be full-scale anarchy.
Is part of what
Punk
holds
rock.
it back trying to like cater to younger audiences? Is that part of what's hurting? Like
Oscars?
Should the Oscars just worry about just being a classy, good show instead of like trying to pander to a younger age group?
I'm glad you brought up classy. I was going to go to the Ron Burgundy story, but we can stay here.
Oh no, I just always wonder about that. Like, as a young person, the first thing you can tell is someone's like putting a hat on backwards and being like,
Yeah.
That's deep
"You like
shimmy.
the Oscars? Come and watch. I am cool with my slap bracelet and swatch."
Did you say swatch?
I did.
That was the best old man thing you could have said.
I feel like I would just rather enjoy just like we put on a good show and Kevin Hart was funny and everyone looked nice in their tuxes and dresses and we put on a good show.
But
and
that's the thing about Hollywood, though. What part of Hollywood has ever really aged gracefully? What part of Hollywood has ever gone into that good night? There's people, you know what I mean?
What part of Hollywood do Meryl Streep and Denzel Washington live in? That's the part of Hollywood that I want to live in.
And like Tom Skerritt. Okay, fine. You know what I mean?
Those three.
Angela Bassett.
Those four.
Angela Bassett, Helen Mirren. Okay,
Yeah.
fine. But the vast
Fabulous Five.
majority,
Okay.
the vast majority
Oh
turns
my
into a
God.
damn transformer trying to look young, and that's what the overall Academy seems to be doing as well.
You're right. I want to see the makeover show featuring those 5 people.
Yes, I like that Tom Skerritt is part of that Fab Five.
I know. I love that he made because it's true. Because it's true. He looks
amazing.
Sam Elliott. Put Sam Elliott in there.
I mean, have you seen any of these people in recent photographs? It's ungodly. Like, they look so good.
You get him, Viper.
Yeah. It's the devil. It is. Like, that's like how do you look that good? Well, you know what it is? It's money. It's money. It's money
really
and
is.
like it's money not spent on cocaine. That's what it
Yeah,
is. It's
yeah.
the people that are spending their money, like Tom Cruise, on staying fit and healthy instead of just,
And magic,
you know,
in
and,
his case.
well, sorcery
Yeah.
also, I would assume. But you're buying the sorcery with money.
Well, the difference there between the Fab Five and Cruise is Cruise, like, there's definitely a portrait somewhere that has like a 700-year-old Tom in it.
Yeah.
Like, it's unnerving.
Yeah.
Whereas with them, you're just like, way to not do as many drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way to just like kind of eat well and be healthy. Yeah, they look amazing. So where were we? Oh, should they go sweetly into that good night? They're never going to. The ratings have declined year after year. Last year I think was an all-time low, right? For the ratings for the telecast.
Pretty bad.
So they're trying to figure out, and for ABC and for the Academy, they're trying to figure out how to get people enthused about the Academy Awards again, which is why they did the ill-advised popular category suggestion this year. And, you know, we'll see where we go. We'll see if we get a good show and people watch it. They have to nominate movies people care about.
Yeah.
There's just so much stuff.
I think I will predict that this year's ratings will be up because I think that A Star Is Born is going to be nominated for a lot of awards, and I think people are going to want to tune in because I would also wager that Lady Gaga will be performing on the show that people are going to want to see, and then we'll see also with the other kind of Best Picture candidates, obviously a lot of indie ones, but you know, if
Some
Black
big
Panther
hits.
pulls off a nomination, obviously that'll be a big draw, so we'll see.
Also, prediction, top of the show, the musical number will be Kevin Hart and The Rock. Promise you.
What are they singing? Just the montage about the movies?
Yeah, it'll be the two of them.
All right, I would watch that.
And he'll just swing dance Kevin Hart.
Oh, yeah, it starts out with a ventriloquist bit.
Yeah.
Yes.
maybe they'll impersonate each other. Ron Burgundy is coming back into our lives. Oh, classy. So, but this isn't a podcast form. This is interesting. This will be a deadline. So, Will Ferrell's going to revive the Ron Burgundy character for the Ron Burgundy podcast because why get cute with it? Just call it what it is. But this is going to be on iHeartRadio Podcast Network, available for listening in 2019, co-produced by Funny or Die and iHeartRadio. It has a 2-season, 12-episode order. I just think this is what's he going to talk? What's Ron Burgundy going to talk to us about? I wonder.
It depends on if it's going to be when it's going to be set.
Yeah. Is it? Yeah, that's a good point. Is it set in that era?
Yeah.
Or is it now?
Because I think this is a brilliant way to bring the character back.
Yeah.
This is the way to do it. You know, Ricky Gervais kept trying to bring David Brent back with specials and documentary after documentary, and it just didn't work after a while. But if David Brent maybe had his own podcast that's, you know, like what's Brent's outlook on, you know, a guy who just like just yammers for an hour and then uploads it to iTunes. That could be really funny. But I think this is the brilliant way to bring the character back in. I know he said he would never do Elf again because he's like, I'm like a lot older now, and that's weird. And he may feel the same way about Ron Burgundy. It's like he's retired as far as on screen. It would feel a little strange to me now as like a much older guy to like put that suit back on. But I think this is really, really brilliant.
This makes sense to me because cable news, they're all Ron Burgundy. Or at least a lot of them are.
Yeah.
Like the idea of what Ron Burgundy was in the 70s and 80s is like that is what news is a lot of the times now is you just have like a host who is like crazy off in their own world who just like shouts at the screen for 30 minutes, you know, and it's so I think it's the perfect time for Ron Burgundy to have a even yesterday, like when he came back, like they'd staged this like Twitter feud with Don Lemon on CNN, and I'm like, Don Lemon, like I don't go to you for fake Twitter feuds with a Will Ferrell character. Like, you're a newsman. Like, I don't want you to see you using your Twitter to talk about, like, eating... like, they were making fun of, like, press credentials being taken away in the White House for eating hot dogs, and Don Lemon is, like, jumping in there. I'm like, dude, no, you have to report on that actual story. Like, not...
Before somebody actually gets confused and, like, they're taking press credentials away for eating hot dogs in the White House, and it just spreads everywhere.
No, just stop it.
CNN.
Don't do it with Don Lemon. Don't get into a fake Twitter feud. Like, you're an actual newscaster. Walter Cronkite did not, get into
so
fight not suicide. I
past.
know words, but
We're
it's
so
not
far
that he's
past.
Walter Cronkite, but
Yeah.
the
But I
idea of the unbreakable, trustworthy visage
Yeah.
of a newsman
Yeah.
is so far gone. That is
Right.
perfect for Ron
Which,
Burgundy.
to your point, is why I'm hoping that it's just set today and it's just Ron Burgundy like commenting on the news of the week. I think through that filter of sort of what you're saying is hilarious. I think that'll be really, really funny.
He would. How
Yeah.
old would Ron Burgundy be if he were around today? Like the
He'd be in his-
character.
I mean, he's already
in his
70s, right?
Right.
Yeah, it'd be like in his. Cause I feel like he's like 40 in the original.
Yeah. Which is in what, 75-ish?
Yeah.
So he'd actually be closer to 80.
Yeah, he'd be in
late
like-
70s,
Whoa.
early 80s.
But yeah, I like the idea of him sort of trying to pull a Colbert with Ron Burgundy because I don't like the second Anchorman very much. I like what it tried to do, like the birth of the 24-hour news network. I think that was a really smart angle. I just think the movie they built around that idea
And then he
didn't
went
work.
blind.
Yeah, you're like, what?
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I tell you my favorite part
God,
of
I
that movie?
forgot about that.
Yeah, it's not a
So
good movie,
weird.
but the ghost of Stonewall Jackson, that
It's
moment,
pretty-
I don't know why, I just like, it kills me every time I think
that
of
is
it.
That's solid.
hilarious.
That's really solid. That's one of those moments like Talladega Nights as a whole like isn't like the funniest thing to me, but that kid yelling at his grandpa that he's all hopped up on Mountain Dew is one of my all-time favorite
Threw his
things
war
I've ever
medals
seen.
off a bridge.
Yeah, I think the last time I slandered Mountain Dew on this channel, somebody sent me that GIF.
That's all. Hopped up on, don't call them GIFs, they'll kill us.
I was gonna say you just said GIF on the channel too, so get ready.
GIF, GIF, skiff,
Skiffs.
Skippy peanut
Yeah,
butter.
I think this is a great idea. It's
Well, yeah, whatever age he is, yeah, him taking on the news from that perspective and with that level of like he doesn't understand any story that he's talking about, and through his not understanding, I think we'll gain a greater understanding.
yes.
I think you're absolutely right. And yeah, man, I wish we had the days of a Walter Cronkite or somebody that had just reported the news without opinion, so you could trust that they would do exactly that. Oh well, world's on fire. Movie fights this Thursday though. That's gonna be a good one. It's Cameron Rice versus Sasha Pearl Raver versus Spencer Gilbert. That's gonna be a lot of fun to watch. We will be back with you tomorrow and Friday and the other days. And we will do things and we will have things. You should watch things, and we love you. America, the world, everyone. I'm looking at you, Germany and England and France and China and Italy and Australia and New Zealand.